he said that he's an outsider. I can't even. In the Liberal leadership race. He couldn't be more inside unless he were inside of Trudeau's clothes with him. Anyways, let's watch this.
It's really difficult for a candidate to come in who is saddled with the policies that are on.
But let's say.
Oh boy.
Let's say, just throwing out a
Look
wild.
Look at you trying to preserve the relationship all of a sudden.
A wild hypothetical. Let's say the candidate wasn't part of the government. Let's say the candidate did have a lot of economic experience. Let's say the candidate did deal with crises. Let's say the candidate had a plan to deal with the challenges in the here and now.
Sneaky, you're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
Wow, that's all. So you're going to be coming in there to say, I have not been in the government. I have worked in the financial markets.
You know, Sheila, when he says he's an outsider, when he poses as an agent for change, we know the precise opposite is true. He's the ultimate insider. He'd be the same guy that would invoke the Emergencies Act against the trucker convoy. He'd be gung-ho in freezing bank accounts, vaccine mandates, you name it. You know, it's kind of like, maybe you're too young, Sheila, but I remember an ad campaign back in the 70s. It was for ABC detergent, which was a bit of a bargain brand compared to, say, Tide. And the tagline was this, because they would wash the clothes in the National Leader detergent and ABC detergent, and they'd bring the clothes out. And the tagline was, "Can you tell the difference? I can't tell the difference," meaning they were equally clean. Well, that's the same with Carney and Trudeau. I can't tell a difference here.
The guy could not be more of an insider. I'm sure he sees the inside of the Prime Minister's office sometimes more than he sees his own house. Let's go back. Let's just go back. He was Justin Trudeau's advisor on COVID. I'm not sure where he has a background in medicine, but he was the advisor to the Prime Minister's office on COVID. And then he was more recently acting as the de facto finance minister, as the economic advisor to the leader of the Liberal Party, which was his way of getting around ethics rules, right? Because he wasn't technically working for the government. He was working for the Liberal Party, which means that his equity firms were still able to lobby the government for preferential treatment and access to Canadian pensions. To say that he's an outsider is crazy. The only thing that he is outside of is accountability because of these little loopholes that they keep pulling. He's the unelected finance minister who is technically advising the leader of the Liberal Party and not the Prime Minister, who happens to be the exact same person. He also shares all of Justin Trudeau's goals with regard to climate change. He said that Greta Thunberg, he was part of her movement. Then he's completely on board with this net zero nonsense. He's also completely on board with the Liberals' treatment of the Freedom Convoy. He advised the government, he published an op-ed, which was like a wink, wink, bat signal to the government to do exactly what they ended up doing. And that was to treat the Freedom Convoy as seditionists and freeze their funds. He wrote an op-ed saying we need to basically be hunter-killers of the financial supply chain for the Freedom Convoy, which is ultimately what Freeland went on to do. So to say that he is an outsider would be something only someone as dumb and ill-informed as Jon Stewart would believe.
And Sheila, I want to quickly remind you of something. You began your rant by saying you don't recall Mark Carney getting a medical degree. Sheila, don't you know, when you're a member of the left, you don't need a medical degree, when it comes to...
You can identify.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I mean, I discovered that in November outside the Sky Dome in Toronto when we were doing the Taylor Swift Streeters. And Taylor Swift, the day before, had sent out a tweet along with Toronto's now dearly departed, well, not so dearly departed Chief Medical Health Officer Cruella de Villa, urging Torontonians to get their COVID-19 shots and up-to-date boosters. And of course, the zombies going into the concert all said, oh, yeah, we'll listen. And I went, wow, look at that. Taylor Swift, in addition to being a singer and can play the guitar, she's also a virologist all of a sudden. So, yeah, when you're on the left, you don't need the credentials, Sheila. I'm sorry to tell you.
But they're the first people to say, but you're not a journalist. And I'm like, well, I have the same journalism degree that Peter Mansbridge has. So how's that?
Good point.
Let's go into this next tweet from Patrick Weiler. I know you're saying the same thing I am. Who? And I'm a political watcher, and this is the first time I ever heard of this backbencher. Seriously, dead serious. I'm glued to committee. I'm glued to the House of Commons. It's always going in the background. I'm clipping it. I know all these people backwards and forwards, and then I was like, what? Who? Anyways, he is the Liberal Member of Parliament for West Vancouver, in case you care. And he is endorsing Mark Carney, who has not even officially announced yet. Are you ready for the coronation? He says, in the hundreds of conversations I've had with constituents in West Vancouver, Sunshine Coast, Sea to Sky country, one name stands out: Mark Carney. He has the leadership and experience that Canada needs right now. And apparently he's globally respected, understands the challenging geopolitical landscape, and has the economic insight to steer us through the difficulties ahead. I think his economic insight actually steered us into the difficulties we're now living through, thanks to being in the ear of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Well, a bit of a premature, if you will, endorsement, because as you said, Sheila, he hasn't officially announced, and nor has Fraulein Freeland. But and on that note, I'd love to throw, because I think super producer Olivia has dredged it up, today's front page of the Toronto Sun. You got to check it out, Sheila. There you go. It's the contenders. They're all in boxing gloves and gym attire. Sheila, you know what? You must take back the nasty comments you made on Monday about Freeland. Look at that bod. She is fit and trim. She's in full fighting form. I mean, come on. You were very cruel to her on Monday, describing her physique and her choice of clothes.
I will take nothing back. In fact, I will be meaner than ever before. Yeah, this is kind of silly and nonsensical. I see Jamie Batiste looking extra happy. I think he's the only one I know of the bunch that actually goes to the gym. And you know how we know he goes to the gym? Because he wears socialist T-shirts at the gym and then posts about it.
Well, you know what? I just want to see who did take this photo. Oh, Sheila, now I take it back. This is not a real photograph. It's a photo illustration. That means, as us old timers used to say, trick photography. They've put Freeland's body and others on real fighters, or sorry, their heads on real fighters' bodies. So I take it back, Sheila.
We've done that to you in the past. With your famous the Menzoid shirt. Before we change lanes from the anticipated coronation of Mark Carney, who is set to make an announcement at an undisclosed location tomorrow in Edmonton, somewhere within the riding of Edmonton Centre, is my best guess, because that's Randy Boissonneau's riding and he's going to lose. He's going to lose. So you may as well just sacrifice yourself on the bonfire of liberalism and step aside so Mark Carney can do his best to win. But I don't even think Mark Carney can win that riding at this point. We'll change lanes, Sheila, to Terrace.
We should point out, Ezra had a brilliant monologue the other day about this. Let's say on March 9th, it is indeed Mark Carney, who is now the new Liberal leader. And let's just say we go to the end of October. They rag the puck that much for the next federal election. He is basically the Prime Minister of Canada without a seat, and without being elected. And incredibly, our Constitution allows that to be a matter of fact.
It's not just an outlandish speculation. It happened in Alberta not all that long ago with Jim Prentice. He was elected the leader of the PCs, but he did not yet have a seat. And so our premier of the province did not, he wasn't in the legislature. So it happens. And that's just a quirk of our Westminster parliamentary democracy system.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.